First off, I want to give all praises and glory to the Most High Yahawah, who this word ignorantly calls God, in the name of YAHAWASHI, who this word ignorantly calls Jesus, in the Holy Spirit. In Paleo Hebrew, it's called Allah, Yahawah Bahashem, Yahawashi Bahashem, Rahach, Kodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who taught me this truth. Salutations to all the brothers out there that's teaching this word, and truth and sincerity, and peace, blessings and healings on to the elect and the multitude, because that's why we do these videos. And today, man, I want to talk about this. You know, the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, he was bringing out some truth. You know what I'm saying? And I want to get into that today because these people over there in the Middle East, they know who those people are over there in Israel. They're not the ancient Israelites, okay? And he says it. He says who they are, but who they really are the Edomites, okay? Preferably over there in Israel, you know, those people are the Amalekites, a tribe of Edom. You know what I'm saying? Jacob had 12 sons, and Edom had how many of her sons he had. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about this today, but he was talking about, you know, the HOLO cost. You know what I'm saying? And saying how, you know, the SIX, a million narrative is a lie. But he was saying they lied so they can get into Palestine, Israel. Let's play this video and then I'm going to break it down.
مسيسة ولتزوير الحقيقة ولاحقا للتمهيد لنقل اليهود من أوروبا باتجاه مناطق أخرى هي فلسطين. اليهود الذين أتوا إلى فلسطين هم يهود الخزر شرق قزوين، هم وثنيون تبعوا الديانة اليهودية في القرن الثامن الميلادي، هاجروا إلى أوروبا وأتوا إلى هذه المنطقة. لا يوجد أي علاقة بينهم وبين شعب إسرائيل.
Just what he said. I can break this down in 4 sections, you know, just by what he said. So let's go back over here. He was saying that the Americans basically funded both sides. Well, you know, the bankers funded both sides of the war, both world wars, World War I and World War II. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted to get into the land of Israel, man. That was always their goal, and they finally finalized it in 1948. But you know, let's go back over here. In order to falsify the truth and later to prepare for the transfer of the Jews, which we would say Jewish, they're not the real Jews. You know, Jewish wish to be a Jew. You know what I'm saying? From Europe to other areas. You know, and then or rather to Palestine. Now we can get this. I got a picture right here. You know, I got a lot of pictures I'm gonna bring up, but this is the Balfour Declaration. The Balfour Declaration took the form of a letter dated November 2nd, 1917, from Arthur Balfour, Foreign Secretary of the British government, to the child's head of Organization of Zionists. This letter promised from the British government a national home for the Jewish people. Now, this was in, okay, as you can see, 1917. So when did World War II start? It started in 1939 to 1945. This letter was written in 1917. So this was plotted and planned, man. You know what I'm saying? The wicked doing wicked things. Okay, and then they finally got into the land. Now, I want to get some scriptures because this was also prophesied about who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. He talked about this also. He talked about them getting the land, okay, and that they would be in the land in the last days. The heathen, the Edomites, okay. One of the first scriptures this is Luke 21, and this is talking about things to come, and this is speaking to the Israelites right here, okay. Now, when you go down, it says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, talking about the Israelites, and shall be led away captive into all nations. So the Israelites, okay, after, you know, 70 AD, they were ousted from the land of Israel, you know what I'm saying, by the Romans. The Romans renamed that area Palestine, okay, but then the Israelites spread over everywhere. About 1 million of them went to West Africa, and then we all know what happened. From West Africa, they went to, you know, the Americas in captivity. So YAHAWASHI, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, said this out of his own mouth, that his people will go into captivity into all nations, every nation on earth. And they did during the transatlantic slave trade. The people over there in Israel today did not go through this. It says, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles. Jerusalem shall be trodden down. It will be occupied by somebody else until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Has the time of the Gentiles been fulfilled? It's being fulfilled as we speak. Okay. And then it talks about the return of Mashiach. So this had to happen. The Israelites had to go into captivity, okay? Now, going to Ezekiel 36, okay? We can read this. It says, therefore thus say Yahweh Shemashai, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, who have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds, to cast it out as a prey. So it tells you in prophecy, okay, this was future prophecy, that the Idumeans, okay, would take the land of Israel. Okay. Now going down, who was Idumea? Edom. Okay, Edom. Okay, Esau, Edom, descendants of Esau. Now also we can get some more prophecy in Joel chapter 3. Okay, the nations will be judged. When will the nations be judged? In the last days. So this is last days prophecy. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, and I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, talking about the last days. YAHAWASHI, the Lord's judgment. Okay, that's why everything's ramping up in the Middle East. That's why Israel's doing what they're doing. Okay, everybody's seeing what they're doing to the Palestinians in quotation marks, and it's getting hot over there. It's about to World War III, about to be the deadliest war ever. And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Now this is important. They scattered the real Israelites all over the world, and they parted the land. Okay, who's the land parted between? Israel, Palestine. You know, they're going through conflict right now, but they always been going through conflict ever since 1948. And the reason that is because Yahweh Bahashem YAHAWASHI, he told Amalek that he would never be at peace. He would be at war from generation to generation. Now the Lord said this to him, man. This is Exodus 17 and 16. For he said, because Yahweh Shemashai have sworn that Yahweh Shemashai will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Now let me get another picture. Now these are all the wars, okay, that they've been in since 1947. Okay, to present day. Okay, so Yahweh Shemashai wasn't lying. These are the people the Lord hates. That's why all these conflicts have been happening and why these people never have peace. They're never going to have peace. This ain't their land, man. They put the real children of God in slavery, man. We can go over here to Jewish slave ship owners. They put God's people in slavery, and then they took God's people's land. Okay, that's why they're never going to have peace. This is why everybody is coming out with the truth today. Like, who the fuck are these people over here? But it was prophesied that they would take that land, man, in the last days, and it just is what it is. They got the biggest gay parades over there, mocking the Lord, man. Thousands of marching Jerusalem Pride parade. Like, bruh, they doing this over here. Look at this, man. This is in Israel, man. So you telling me that these are God's people doing this in the Holy Land? This is Isaiah 26 and 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he learn not righteousness. In the land of uprightness he will deal unjustly, and he will not behold the majesty of Yahweh Shemashai. These people have not beholded the majesty of the Lord in that land. Okay, that's how you know that they're the wicked. Okay, Yahawashi said that they would take the land who you call Jesus. In prophecy it says they would take the land Idumea. In Joel 3 it talks about they would part the land between two people, Palestinians and Israel. Two people that's not supposed to be over there. Also, you know, I got another picture just to get some more history. It says Jerusalem was transferred from the possession of the Greek Christians to the dominion of the Arab Muslims. That's who's over there in Palestine today. And continued in subjugation to the caliphs about 400 years. When Omar took the city, the inhabitants were allowed to exercise of their religion, but they were prohibited from building any new churches either in the metropolis or the abject country, from riding upon saddles or beating any kind of arms. They were obligated to dress in a different manner from Mohammedans and subjugated to pay tribute to the conquerors. So Jerusalem was transferred to the Arabs. You know what I'm saying? They was transferred to the Arabs. That's why them Palestinians are over there today. That's why Yahweh Shemashai said they would part the land. Point blank period. Okay, all this history and all this prophecy ties together like a web, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Bible is a living book. Okay, because you can't escape what's written in this book because Yahweh Shemashai stamped it. You know what I'm saying? And everything that's taking place is by his design. So just off of what he said, you know, I got the information, And then I backed it up with the scriptures. Now let's keep going on.
هي فلسطين.
You know, the Jews who came to Palestine are Khazar Jews from the east of the Caucasian Sea. Okay, they were pagans who converted to Judaism in the 8th century. Now, I got another book right here. Okay, Esau, Who is Esau Edom by Charles A. Wiseman. You know, let's read a little bit of this. It says, Herod was shrewd and unscrupulous tyrant and was despised by the Judites because he was an Idumean. Okay, we've always had beef back and forth. You know, the so-called Jewish man and the so-called real Jew. Okay, the African Americans. We've always had beef. Okay, ever since the womb. Go read Genesis, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, we've been fighting since the womb. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of YAHAWASHI. And YAHAWASHI said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So, you know, Jacob and Esau were twins, but they didn't look alike. One came out looking like a so-called white man. One came out looking like a so-called black man. Now you can go twins, black one, the other white. You know, this happens every day, you know, in nature. UK twins turn heads. This is what happened over there when Rebecca had her twins. Okay, you had one that looked like Jacob, and you had another one that looked like Esau. It just is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And there's even more black and white twins. Okay, black and white twins. This happens to our people, man. Okay, because these people are full lepers, full leprous. Okay, you ever seen a black leper before? These people got leprosy. That's what it's called, man. Okay, lepers. Leprosy. Okay, they turn out looking like white people, man. It just is what it is. So-called motherfucking white man came from our people. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why when Rebecca had her twins, one came out looking normal and one came out looking red. Okay, we can go. Let's go back to Genesis and get that. Okay, Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau, which means red in the Hebrew, man. So they came out looking red. You know, I don't need to get no more than that. You can go read what happened between, you know, Jacob and Esau, but Isaac gave both of them blessings. You know, Jacob took Esau's blessing. Esau got the blessing of the kingdom of heaven. Jacob took it, but they was both promised the world in its entirety. Now, only 2 people was promised the world. That was Jacob and that was Esau. We're in Esau's blessing right now. That's why the time of the Gentiles have not been fulfilled, are being fulfilled right now, as it says in Luke. Okay, now going back, it says, Herod hated the people of Judah, and one of his first acts was to execute 45 of the leaders of the old atrocity to eliminate any rivalry leadership. You know what I'm saying? Herod, with his Idumean origin, we thus find that in the years just before the time of Hamashiach, Judah was controlled by an Edomite faction who usurped the Judite name, land, and heritage. You know, and that's what white people do. Historically, the Edomites became known as Jews, a term derived from Judea, which was derived from the name Judah, being the royal line of Israel, though they were never of Judah or Israel. They're Edomites. And this is in a book. The Ashkenazim are the East European Jews, which are found in Poland, Russia, Germany, and West Asia. This group of Jews make up 90% of the so-called Jews in the world, so-called Jewish. Many reference and historical sources have unequivocally identified the bulk of the Ashkenazi Jews were derived from the people known as Khazars, or Khazars in some texts. The original Jewish encyclopedia of 1905 revealed that the main stock of the Jews came from this Estonic people known as the Khazars. Okay, Khazars are people of Turkish origin whose life and history are interwoven with the very beginnings of history of the Jews of Russia. You know, and just to get another picture, we can go to a Jewish almanac. Okay, this is a 1980 Jewish almanac, page 3. The Jews admit that they are not the descendants of the ancient Israelites in their writings under the heading of A Brief History of the Term Jew. Into 1980 Jewish almanac is the following. Strictly speaking, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew or to call a contemporary Jew an Israelite or a Hebrew. Now we're about to get into this because they converted. Okay, and we're about to get into that right now. You know, they were pagans who converted to Judaism in the 8th century. Now, we can go read this, okay? John Hyrcanus. Now, let's read about this. John Hyrcanus I, high priest and ruler of the Jewish nation from 135, 134 to 104 BC. Under his reign, the Hashmonean kingdom of Judah in ancient Palestine attained power and great prosperity, and the Pharisees, a scholar sect with popular backing, and the Sadducees and the Ostrich sect that compromised the priesthood became well-defined religious parties. Now, when you go down here, although he struggled in vain to destroy Ptolemy, he successfully thwarted Syrian incursion by alliance with Rome and conquered the unfriendly neighboring territories of Samaria and what? Idumea. He forced the Idumea to convert to Judaism. So one of our kings back in the day, an Israelite, forced Idumea to convert to Judaism. And that's what you have today. Those people that over there in Israel. Okay, you can't be a convert to no, you can't be if you ain't a Jew by blood, you ain't no Jew, man. It just is what it is. And this is funny because our people, like I said, we've been going back and forth ever since the womb and Rebecca, you know, but when you go read First Maccabees, you know, it talks about Edom, you know, Alexander the Great, he was an Edomite, you know what I'm saying? But when you go down, Alexander the Great, he was an Edomite, man. Now, when you go down, it says, and there came out of them a wicked root Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 130 and 70 year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So this is talking about the Greek captivity of the Israelites. And before I talk about this, I want to talk about this real quick. You know, in the Bible today, it has 66 books in it, but it skips a whole time period, you know, the Apocrypha. It skips the Greek captivity. So you never knew what happened to the Israelites in the Greek captivity. But, you know, the Edomites, they took this book out of the Bible, you know, and Christianity doesn't even know about the Apocrypha, you know, but the Apocrypha is important because it explains, you know, who the Gentiles are in the New Testament. They're Israelites who converted in the Greek times to the heathens' religion. And so YAHAWASHI had to show up on the scene to get the descendants of those people who left, you know, the law, statutes, and commandments. He had to pull those descendants back into the fold. Okay, point blank, period. That's why the Apocrypha is so important. Now, I can get a picture right here. These are all the captivities that the Israelites were under. Okay, all the way to Egypt, to Syria, Babylonia, Medo-Persian, the Greek and Roman captivities. Now, the reason that this is important is because, you know, in the Bible today, it goes from Malachi and then it goes to Matthew. It skips a whole time period. The Apocrypha fills in so you can get the whole story of what happened. Okay, point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? So this is very important. You can't skip this, you know, and it'll bring new light on who the Gentiles are. Okay, so let's move on. Going back, it says, and in those days went there out Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from thee, we've had much sorrow. So this is why YAHAWASHI came back, and that's why it talks about the Gentiles in the New Testament when the Gentiles was talking about the Israelites, because many of our people, you know, converted to the heathens' religion, because Antiochus, which was the Edomite, he made our people, you know, not follow the laws anymore, man. You know, so certain people were forward herein, and they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, like a gym. It says, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were so to do mischief. So it's just crazy because Antiochus Epiphanes, he the one that made it a law. Okay, he said, if you don't do this, then you're going to die. Okay, he said you can't follow your customs anymore. You can't say you're an Israelite anymore, you know, going down a little bit. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed to the accordance to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. Okay, so Antiochus, a Edomite, made us convert to their religion. So later down the line, okay, after we got our land back, and that's why you got Hanukkah, because we defeated them. That's why John Hyrcanus, he made them convert to Judaism. So you got to know this history. Our people was going back and forth, back and forth. You know what I'm saying? They finally got us in 70 AD. They kicked us out of that land. And then, you know, because the elites of this world know, the elites in that time, you know, Rome fell. They got back in power. They said, we're going to put you motherfuckers in slavery, man. And that's what they did. Okay? So it just is what it is. You know, our people have been going back and forth, but our people is going to get the win in the end because YAHAWASHI, he's a Jew, man. Okay? And he ain't human, man. So it is what it is. But going back, let me read one more scripture. This is 2 Maccabees 6:6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or profess himself to be at all a Jew. Now, let me say this. When you read the Maccabees and how violent these white people got on our people, they're the same people today. Okay? Look what they did to the Native Americans. Look what they did to us in slavery. They did the same thing in this time. You know how white people act. They savages when they can, if they put their mind to it. They have nothing to do whatsoever with the ancient people of Israel. Okay, so they don't. You know, let me just get some Israelite art. Okay, here goes some art of some Israelites. Okay, of the prophets. Okay, this is ancient art. You know, these people just lies, man. They liars. 1739, 1650. You know, Daniel. The Roman catacombs. That's why they sealed off the catacombs, and they, you know, saying nobody can go down there and shit, because there's a lot of art down there. You know, look at this. You got 2 UFOs. Those are the angels' vehicles. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's a big thing going on about UFOs. But those are the angels. They driving those vehicles, man. Okay. YAHAWASHI among the apostles, 4th century. You know, King David playing the harp. You know what I'm saying? 1000 AD, King David, they knocked off the nose. And you know who knocked off the nose? An Edomite. King James, you know, King James was a king of Great Britain, France, and Ireland. He was a black man, and the King James Bible is named after him. Okay? And they try to say he's gay and all that shit, but, you know, that's white propaganda, you know, Edomite propaganda. King Solomon, 16th century. Ancient images of the Messiah found all over Europe. Michael the Archangel, you know, Moses and King David, who was the same person basically in the spirit. Moses, they couldn't whitewash, found in the catacombs in Russia. Oh yeah, these are slave signs. To be sold on board of the ship, fine Hebrews. Negroes. So they was calling us Hebrews over there in slavery, man. So they knew who they was putting in slavery. You know, BC, we was calling ourselves Israelites, AD, Jews, Indians. You know what I'm saying? Niggas, Negro, colored, black, Afro-American, African-American. And now we calling ourselves Israelites again. It just is what it is. You know, you ain't think the children of God was going to come back to their heritage. So that's all I needed to get today, man. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who taught me this truth. And call Holy YAHAWASHI and Shabbat Shem Kakadash, man. The truth is coming out, and ain't nothing these people can do about it.